You know, it said a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So these are actual people that Esau had a perpetual hatred, and it said the blood of the children of Israel. Um, Deuteronomy 28, I said Deuteronomy 28 and 50, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 50. Let's see what it says. Go there. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. You see? What people is this? Verse 49, the Most High shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, like July 4th, 1776. As swift as the eagle flies. So giving you the symbol of this nation would be the eagle, which is the symbol of America, the bald eagle. It's on the post office, on their flag, on the top of the flag staff, right? It's the eagle. That's swift as the eagle fly. When they went to the moon, so-called went to the moon, what they say? The eagle has landed. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. That's why we spoke our language, they spoke theirs. We understand their language. A nation of fierce countenance, he said, which shall not regard the person of the old. They don't care if you old, nor show favor to the young. That's why you see these people on this bulletin that I have, this poster that I have, young and old. It don't matter. So now, look at Deuteronomy 28 and 66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. You don't know if you're going to make it going. Look, brother in Florida, I can't think of his name right now, went to get some drink at halftime of a game, never made it back home. I know Zimmerman, the Edomite Zimmerman killed him. Year 1981, Michael Donald. Before and Michael Donald after. Look. Right here before and afterward. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Before and after. Say, Mr. Donald was kidnapped at gunpoint by two young members of the KKK. Mr. Donald tried to escape but was caught, struck 100 times with a tree limb. They slit his throat. They hung him on a public street in the city. Look. This brother had Nikes on. See that? Right here. Over and over again. Year 2014. This brother, I think his name was Brown. Right here. 2014. And we go on and on and on. And Salakia for all those that I've missed. But I haven't updated, the posters to represent all those that have been murdered. We got black on black crime. Well, y'all kill each other, right? For nearly a decade, the CIA helped spread crack cocaine in black ghettos. COINTELPRO, counterintelligence program, United States FBI along with the CIA backed the drug network, which funneled drugs into the black neighborhoods of Compton and Los Angeles. This helped create the crack explosion, which provided monies for gangs to purchase Uzis, submachine guns, AK-47 rifles, and other assault weapons for gang turf warfare, which subsequently promoted drive-by shootings, murders, and robberies. Job 16 and 11 and 12. Because what poppy fields do we have? What airplanes do we have to fly as many drugs that's in this country to America to distribute it to everyone? Listen, the Most High have delivered me to the unrighteous and turned me over into the hands of the wicked. I was at ease, but he hath broken me asunder. He hath also taken me by my neck and shaken me to pieces and set me up for his mark. This is what he's done. So, man, look at all them carrying us in body bags, man. Drive-by shootings, man. It's sad, man, but it's real. That's what we up against. And the more we understand and come out of the ways that we've been programmed to be and think it's okay, the more we have opportunity to make it to this kingdom, that we're going to be kings and priests. We're going to reign on the earth, y'all. Go to Jeremiah, the 9th chapter, in verse 21. See, the prophecies of the Most High is going to happen. It's just, his ways are thus and our ways are thus. But whatever he says is going to happen. Even if you got to use the wicked to make it happen. Jeremiah 9:21 says, for death is come up into our windows. Drive-by shootings, y'all. And is entered into our palaces, into our houses, to cut off the children from without. See, a lot of these gang wars are with young people, the children from without. And a lot of innocent children be put to death too. And the young man from the streets. See, drive-by shootings right there. So it's fulfilled in what it is that we're doing, because we don't want to follow the Most High's law, statutes, commandments. So he told us. Ezekiel 7:24 told us this. We in captivity now. When Ezekiel telling us, look, wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen. It don't say the best, it say, or the one that will show favor. It say he gonna bring the worst of the heathen. And they shall possess their houses. I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and the holy places shall be defiled. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. You see? This is what they did. Esau, Edomites, the so-called weapon, because the Most High said he was going to do it to us because we refused to follow the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. So he said, I'm going to give you to the worst of the heathen. And that's what we were given to. Now, let me look up the definition of Caucasian. I just happen to have it here in my folder here. And we're just dealing with the truth. It says, this is from the Webster's Encyclopedia Unabridged Dictionary of the English Language. He say gonna send the worst of the heathen, right? This is what they consider themselves. It says Caucasian. It says Caucasoid. It say other pertaining to the Caucasus mountain range, right? Okay. It says a person having Caucasoid characteristics, a white person, right? A native of the Caucasus, right? So we look up Caucasoid, it says a member of a subspecies of mankind, right? A member of a subspecies of mankind, including the light-skinned peoples of Europe, North Africa, certain Eastern Asia, and India, and their descendants in other parts of the world, other belonging to this subspecies, Caucasian. Here it is for yourself. You can look at it yourself. I'm not making this up. This is from the Webster's Encyclopedia Unabridged Dictionary of the English Language. Straight up. You can see it there. So, this is what, not following what the Most High told us here. What was going to happen? Verse 26 say, mischief shall come upon mischief. Once he sent the worst of the heathen upon us, mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law of the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob shall perish from the priests and counsel from the ancients. See? That's why they're teaching you that you're not under the law. And the ancients still saying the same thing as they go into the grave. We ain't under the law, we the mercy and grace, we Gentiles grafted in. Program. That's why you can't read this Bible and say it ain't talking to the Israelites. It's talking about, we see it as talking about all nations. They right here in this Bible. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Point blank. Song of Three Holy Children in the Apocrypha. Verse 8 and 9. Look at that. Song of Three Holy Children. This is Salakia dealing with this is the Song of Three Holy Children, which followeth in the 3rd chapter of Daniel after this place. Fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace, verse 23. That which followeth is not in the Hebrew, to wit, and they walked unto these words. Then Nebuchadnezzar, verse 24, talks about it. So they saying this is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fiery furnace, and they prophesied here in verse 9. It says, and thou didst deliver us into the hands, verse 8. Wherefore all that thou hast brought upon us, and everything that thou hast done to us, thou hast done in true judgment. Because he told us. We're hearing what he says he's going to do. That's the future. When he says, wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, I will bring, that's the future. So we heard this. We knew all of this. And they shall possess their houses, like they over there in our land of Israel right now, possessing our houses. And here, coming here, everywhere they went. They put on our identity, and they took on our place of dwelling. Verse 9, and thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies. Hear that? Lawless enemies. That's why when you read about go to 1 Maccabees, the 1st chapter. This is when the Greeks came into power, and wicked Antiochus Epiphanes, an Edomite, this is what he did. Lawless enemies, right? So what did he do? First thing he did was what? 1 Maccabees 1 and 41. Moreover, King Antiochus, this Edomite king that Alexander put over his kingdom, one of the 4 generals, wrote to his whole kingdom, all should be one people, lawless enemies, right? Listen to what it says. And everyone should leave his laws. And everyone should leave his laws. This so-called white man said, and everyone shall leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. See? What laws do they have? What laws do these heathen right now have? These Gentile nations, what laws do they have now? If thou can say. Because we have moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, and sacrificial laws. At this time we're reading here. In the Greek Empire. This is before Mashiach came here in the flesh, mind you. It says, yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. Like a lot of y'all consent to the religions that they have today. No different. Just a different day and time. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Many of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. See. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem, where we were as the Israelites, and the cities of Judah, that they should follow what? The strange laws of the land. See. That's why it says. Song of Solomon. Song of the three holy children. And thou, verse 9, and thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies. That's why they tell you not under the law. Lawless enemies unto this day. Most hateful forsakers of the Most High. Hear that? You can't tell me that they ain't the most hateful forsakers of the Most High, or just the Most High to them and to a lot of you Israelites. Y'all say that's him. It says in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Y'all say that's him. A lot of y'all say that's him. The so-called white man. The most, that you got to be hateful of the Most High. To paint that picture and say that's him. That's from 1609 AD. So they've been doing this. They've been doing this from, they painted Caesar Borgia. Caesar Borgia saying this is him. Mashiach Yahushai. That's Joseph and Mary and the baby. All lies. They did this. So you can't say you love them. Listen, what it says. Let's just prove it. Out of the scriptures, it says, verse 9, and thou did deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High. Right? Go to Psalms 83rd chapter. See what the Most High had to say about this situation. Most hateful forsakers of the Most High, right? Psalms 83rd chapter. Let's start at verse 1. It said, keep not thy silence. Don't be quiet, O Most High. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High. It says, for lo, thine enemies make a turmoil. So the Most High and the Mashiach shall have enemies, make a turmoil, an uproar. And they that hate thee, what? What did it say? Verse 9. And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies. Song of Three Holy Children, verse 9. And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, right? Psalms 83 and 2, for lo, thine enemies. So the Most High got enemies. Make a turmoil, make it an uproar. And they that hate thee, they that hate the Most High, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, they that hate thee have lifted up the head in pride. Thinking they are that. What they do? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, against your people, Most High, and consulted against thy hidden ones. See? Consulted against the hidden ones. Who more hidden than us? I just showed you a picture that they say in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Our people believe that the so-called white man is the Most High. The so-called white man is a Mashiach Yahushai. When he had hair of wool and feet like a defined brass if it burned in the furnace. Most High had pure woolly hair, pure nappy hair. So, but our people believe that the so-called white man is the Most High. We the hidden ones, not knowing who we are. I got 105 different identities of who we are as a nation, I'll say. Because ain't nobody say we the children of Israel that I asked. And that's the period of the Most High. Just, what's your nationality, brother? What's your race? And you are of your father's father. You can go back to your grandfather. Your father's father's father. You can go back to your great-grandfather. If not, who's your father? That's who you are. Lineage of the man. The seed come from the man. 105 different identities. 105 different identities. As a race, who we are. Hidden ones. Definitely hidden ones. That's why he call us the lost 12 tribes of Israel. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That's why y'all calling yourself a group, organization, a club, a community. Let us cut them off from being a nation. Most I say we a nation. Remember we just read in Genesis 35, 10 and 11? It says, a nation and a company of nations shall come out of our forefather Jacob. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That's why y'all said we ain't no group, no hate group, or we're a community, we're an organization, we all that, except for being a nation. We're not a hate nation. How about that? And they try and compare us to the KKK. Put what the KK has done and what we've done to Israelites and teaching this truth. It's no comparison at all. No way, shape, or form, man. They have said, these other nations, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. See that? That's why it's so hard for our people to realize that we the people of the book. The 12 tribes of Israel. Go tell my people Israel, that's who we are. Or come forth and prove that you're one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Any of these other nations. Any of them. According to prophecies and what's written in this book. The Bible. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. They're confederate against the Most High. Sound familiar? Confederate. Got their Confederate flag. White supremacists. They're confederate against the Most High. Now it's going to name them. The tabernacles of Edom. First thing he said, and name the tabernacles of Edom. So-called indigenous, aboriginal, Caucasian man, Esau, the Edomites. Right? Most hateful forsakers of the Most High. You have to hate the Most High. Well, I just read to you in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. It says Esau figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as a scene of great future judgments, giving scriptures to back it up. It says she is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from the Most High. There it is. So now, remember it said in verse 2, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head in pride. They have said that they're the Most High. The tabernacles of Edom, verse 6, so-called white man. And the Ishmaelites. Who are these? Verse 2, for lo, thine enemies of the Most High, make a turmoil, make an uproar, and they that hate thee, they that hate the Most High, have lifted up the head. That's pride. That's in pride. They lift up their head in pride. And he's naming them. The tabernacles of Edom. They're the enemies and haters of the Most High. So-called white man. And the Ishmaelites. Indigenous. All indigenous. Arabs. Of Moab. Chinese. Of the Hagarenes. Africans. Gebal. A descendant of the Arabs. Of Ammon. Japanese. And Amalek. Amalek represent the Jewish people today. The Philistine, Moabicans, and the inhabitants of Tyre, Moabicans, Ashur, that's Assyrians, also is joined with them. All those are what? Verse 2, for lo, thine enemies make a turmoil, and they that hate thee, hate the Most High, have lifted up their head in pride. What it say in the Song of Three Holy Children, verse 9? And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, and to an unjust king. Right? So no matter who's in charge, they're going to be an unjust king. As being what? Psalm 83 and 2. For lo, thine enemies of the Most High make a turmoil. And they that hate thee, hate the Most High, have lifted up the head in pride. See, they say, ain't nobody see me. They say, ain't nobody see me. That's why you look at it. It says, the Song of Three Holy Children, verse 9, and thou didst deliver us, the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, into the hands of lawless enemies. I read to you how they said everybody got to leave the laws. We had moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, sacrificial laws. What laws did the Edomites have? What laws did the Ishmaelites have? What laws did all the enemies and the haters of the Most High have that the Most High gave them? When he said, Psalm 147, 19 and 20, it's basics. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, meaning the punishments for breaking the Most High's laws, they have not known them. Praise ye the Most High. But that judgment is coming. That judgment is coming because this Bible is in mostly all the languages of the world. So ain't no excuse for no one. And who really wants to know the true, unadulterated truth of what this Bible is talking about? Because you're going to be judged. You're going to meet the judgment seat of the Most High while Mashiach Yahushua. Believe this. This is what it says. The Song of Three Holy Children, verse 9, and thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, and to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world. Hear that? The most wicked in all the world. That's why Job 9:24 says what? The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He who is the wicked covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not wherein who is. I just showed you in the Bible, their Bible. They publish it. They the ones that publish the Bibles with all pictures in there of Edomites, so-called white people. Nobody else existed but them. Like y'all want to comfort us like to the Jew and to the Gentile, to the Jew and to the Greek. Like it's talking about us and them. Israelites and them. Come on now. That makes sense to you? No. Makes no sense at all. But what's your explanation of why it says that in the Roman Empire? We just read in the Greek Empire, we say, hey, you got to get rid of all the laws. You know, we couldn't keep the Holy Sabbath or the day of the Most High, the seventh day of the week. We couldn't keep that. Couldn't keep the holy feast days. They sacrificed swine flesh and all kind of abominable things on our altars to make us abominable. And the women that circumcised the boys on the 8th day, they put them, they killed them. They had a special day that they killed our women and those that transgressed his religion, which is not to keep the laws of the Most High. Don't it sound familiar? We not under the law. We under mercy and grace. Y'all wicked Israelites today, y'all follow the same way that you followed back then. Just here now. In a different time. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Y'all the same wicked Israelites that, hey, went to get a license from this wicked Antiochus Epiphanes. The sin. Shame, man. But it's real. But the Most High mercy endure forever to the Israelites. He gonna have mercy on Israel and yet choose. He gonna have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. Let's see. Look at verse 14. It says, for we, as the Israelites, O Most High, are become less than any nation, and be kept under this day in all the world because of our sins. And sins is the transgression of the Most High's laws. Neither is there at this time prince, or prophet, or leader, or burnt offering, or sacrifice, or oblation, or incense, or place to sacrifice before thee, and to find mercy, which is not getting something you do deserve. Nevertheless, in a contrite heart, a contrite mind, and an humble spirit, let us be accepted. I'll read you again. Nevertheless, in a contrite heart and an humble spirit, let us be accepted. That's why he told us, hold that. 2nd Ezra 8:48. I mean, I could go on and on. That's just a new scripture that I could add to what it is that I brought to you through the Spirit of the Most High. It said, "And this also thou art marvelous before the Most High." How? In that thou hast humbled thyself. What did it say? Verse 16 of Song of Three Holy Children. Nevertheless, in a contrite heart and an humble spirit, let us be accepted. That's what the Most High wants us to be. What's marvelous in the eyes of the Most High? 2nd Ezra 8:48. In this also thou art marvelous before the Most High, in that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. That's humility. Not thinking you all that. Not trying to be something that you're not. Be something that you're not in. A Mashiach Shai got to come and teach us of the Father, the Most High, for 1,000 years. And here you are thinking that you all that because you got a little clout in captivity, talking to you Israelites. And you that's not an Israelite in your mind, soul, and spirit. But you are an Israelite. You calling yourself a Gentile. You too. You think that you done made it. Because you got a little room to run around a great plantation. Everything is dealing with inflation right now. We're going to see what you're going to do when the Most High come for you. But you see here, this was marvelous in the eyes of the Most High, that you humble yourself before the Most High humble you himself and make you fear. Look, continuing the Song of Three Holy Children. Verse 16 again. Nevertheless, in a contrite heart, contrite mind, and an humble spirit, let us be accepted. That's marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. First thing he said in that Ezra had humbled himself and not acquainted himself or counted himself as one of the righteous. Because so what? We learn a few precepts. We learn this, we learn that. You still ain't nothing but a filthy rag. That's all we are, filthy rag in the eyes of the Most High. Wretched. Good for nothing in the eyes of the Most High. Myself, Shai wouldn't let the rich man call him good. Say ain't nobody good but the Most High. But y'all out there telling me, how you doing? I'm good. You the Most High, huh? You just like the Most High. See, these are the things that the devil done deceived the whole world, got y'all calling yourselves good, got you calling yourself a dog, which is God spelled backwards. Dog, we call them dogs. On the New Unger's Bible Dictionary, it says dog. Look at the word dog. It says dog was used by the Israelites concerning the Gentiles because of their profaneness and because of homosexuality. That's a word that we call them. David prophesied, Psalms 22:16. For dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. He called them dogs. Mashiach Shai, when he came on the earth, called them dogs. In Mark 7:24 down, and Matthew 15 and 21 down. Call them dogs. When they took dog and took it, oh, you call us dog? Okay, we're going to take dog and spell it backwards. The elite know this. They took dog and spelled it backwards, came over with God. And that's who y'all calling on. Them. They steal your power. As long as you call it on, don't make no difference if it's God, if it's dog. It's the same entity. Like y'all got Santa Claus. Move them letters over, you got Satan Claus. They know what they doing. You just don't know. You ain't not thinking well enough. Well, I'm telling you, man. Look it up. You ain't seen no God. We know in the Hebrew it said Elohim, the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua, man. Whether he was the angel of the Most High, whether he was in this right here on the flesh, still dealing with the same thing. Look, continuing. It said, verse 17, like as in the burnt offerings of rams and bullocks, and like as in 10,000s of fat lambs, so let our sacrifice be in thy sight this day, and grant that we may wholly go after thee. But they shall not be confounded, which means confused, that put their trust in thee. You're not going to be confused if you put your whole trust in the Most High. But you got to study to show yourself approved unto the Most High. You got to learn to live it and apply it in your life. This is a way, the true way of life. When you understand what it's saying, listen to what it says. And now we follow thee. The only way you're going to follow the Most High is do what he say do and keep his commandments. And now we follow thee with all our heart, with all our mind, he's saying. Listen to what it says. We fear thee and seek thy face. Why we got to seek his face? Why we got to seek his face? Because he hid his face from us. Because we didn't do what he wanted us to do. Therefore, he hid his face from us. And understand this. For you that might be tuned in for the first time or have tuned in before, but it didn't hit you to the point where you say, he hid his face. That's why he said, look, go to Hosea 5:15 first. Why he saying? What's being said? Hosea 5:15. He said, I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense, till we acknowledge that we have offended our heavenly Father, the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. We got to acknowledge our offense against him and seek my face. See that? And seek my face. That's why they said seek his face. In another verse, right? In the affliction, not love and happiness and joy and all the time, good times, they will seek me early. Maybe some of you ain't seen enough affliction to be seeking him and really realize what this is about, because your enemies and the haters of the Most High, we just read in Psalms 83rd chapter, look what they know. Psalm 39 and 23. And the heathen, that's these other nations outside of us, the 12 tribes of Israel, shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity. Why? For their iniquity, for our wickedness, for our sins, for the evil that we done in offending the Most High, that we just read. Because they have trespassed against me. Therefore, we broke the laws of the Most High. Therefore, hid I my face from them. See? And gave them into the hand of their enemies, as he told us he's going to do. So fell they all by the sword. Man. Wow. Isaiah 54 and 7. Isaiah 54 and 7. For a small moment, he said, have I forsaken thee. But with great mercies, plural. That's not getting something we deserve over and over and over again. Will I gather thee? See that? We do what he wants us to do. And following him, his rules and regulations. Say, in a little wrath I hid my face from thee. For a moment. To the Most High, look, a day to the Most High is 1,000 years. He said, in a little wrath I hid my face from thee. For a moment. In his eyes, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, said the Most High, thy Redeemer. Hallelujah. Man, don't that sound good? Let me read it again. He said, for a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. In a little wrath, to the Most High, I hid my face from thee for a moment. But with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, said the Most High Power, thy Redeemer. You see that? Mercies. You're going to have mercy. That's why you look at Isaiah 14 and 1. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. Jacob was our forefather. We became the Israelites. You're going to yet choose Israel because we the chosen people of the Most High and set them in their own land. The Most High going to do this. And the strangers, these other nations, shall be joined with them. Because we're going to have a remnant of the other nations that's going to be joined with us. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. When you see that there is no more Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Police Department, any kind of a judicial system that's set up here, going to be done away with. When the righteousness of the Most High will come on this earth. That's why they said they're going to, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, right? Go to Zechariah, hold that, because Zechariah 8:23. Zechariah 8:23. They're going to be cleaving to us. Because they're going to say this. They're going to know. That's why I love the word. This good answers everything. Yeah, many people and strong nations shall come to seek the Most High Power of hosts in Jerusalem and to pray before the Most High. Thus said the Most High Power of hosts. That was 22 and 23. In those days it shall come to pass that 10 men, these strangers, these other nations, shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, that is an Israelite, saying what? We will go with you. Say, we're going to go with you. Why? For we have heard that the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is with you. See, that's what they're going to say. When they're going to be cleaving to us, they're going to be saying, hey, we've heard that the Most High is with you. Who else they going to cleave to? If it's not us in a righteous kingdom. Look, Isaiah 14:2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. We're going to take these strangers, these other nations, and put them in the place they're going to be. And bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants, men servants, and handmaids, women's servants. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. Remember who oppressors slay them and hold themselves not guilty? Well, in the end, when righteousness come on this earth, we're going to rule over those same oppressors. Every nation that had us oppressed, they're going to be ruled over by the Israelites, as it is written. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. Ain't going to be no more tears, y'all. He's going to give us rest from our sorrow and from thy fear. You're going to be concerned about the things that I showed you of our oppressor killing us, and the verdict is not guilty anymore. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. See? That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased? How have America and the oppressor's white man and all the other nations that joined with him against the 12 tribes of Israel ceased? The golden city ceased. Oh yeah. The golden city ceased. Finished. That's why Mashiach Kabashai let us know In Revelation 18 and verse 7. Well, let's read verse 6. It said, reward her, this golden city, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. The things she had done, she gonna get double. And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. Because we got double. See, this is fair. Hold that. Get Isaiah, the 40th chapter, the first verse and the second verse. We got double. What you think? And the Most High said we the chosen people, and everybody else gonna get less than what he gave us? No. Isaiah 40, chapter, the first and second verse. Comfort ye, my people, said the Most High, speaking comfortably to Jerusalem and crying to her that her warfare is accomplished. You see, the warfare that we had against the Most High is accomplished. That her iniquity is pardoned. This is what he said. For she have received at the Most High's hand double for all her sins. Right? So when it tells you that in verse 6 of Revelation, the 18th chapter, what it says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. That's why it says we receive double for all our sins, right? That's what Moses said. Lamentations 4:22. Hear the word, let it talk to you. Lamentations 4:22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. That's why he said, comfort ye, my people. 12 tribes of Israel. O daughter of Zion, Zion represents the 12 tribes of Israel. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. That's it. That's it right now. He will visit thine iniquity. Who? O daughter of Edom. That's why when you read 2 Ezra 6 and 9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. That's why he said, we'll have mercy on Jacob, and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. That's the kingdom. He said, he will visit thine iniquity, your wickedness, O daughter of Edom. This is what he said. He will discover thy sins. That's why he says, when he discovered their sins, that's why he said, look, Revelation 18. It says, and I heard another, verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, of America's sins, and that ye receive not of her plague. Y'all know she's being plagued. Most I say, gonna bring these plagues on earth, they here. However he do it, no matter if he used the wicked to do his just due of his fulfilling his prophecy, is happening in our time that we living in right now. He said, for her sins have reached unto heaven. Remember, she's going to discover their sins. Her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Isn't that what we just read in Lamentations 4:22? Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. We got double, they going to get double. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double, making sure that you understand that double is coming. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she have said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow. Ain't nobody touched the shores of America, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Most High power who judges her. Say, that's why you're looking at, what's that golden city? Look. Look at and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, these other nations, shall bewail her. They're going to be crying over her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon that we just read about, representing Babal, which is confusion, and ain't no more confusing place than America. That mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. I'm going to take the Most High and the Most Second side 1 hour to destroy this place, man. It'll be finished. That's right. Ain't nobody gonna live here ever again. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise anymore. You got to think. They said 200,000 ships out in the ocean coming to the shores of just this west coast. They tell you all the merchandise that they have, and it's look at what it says, verse 15. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. They're gonna be crying, seeing America go down, and said, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour, so great riches has come to nothing, to not mean nothing. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off and cried. They crying and they wailing and crying, right? Bewailing her, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city, this golden city? And a lot of times when you fly, you go over America, you look down, you see, wow, this looks like a gold. It's like gold. The lights and so forth, how it shines. So when you look at verse 23, it says, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. No candles gonna be shining here. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. Ain't nobody getting married here no more. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. That's why they got all them ships coming into the shores of America. Listen how they did. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Hear that? By their sorceries were all nations deceived. Let's go back to Revelation 12 and 9, where we started at. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. By what? Revelations 18 and 23. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. See, it tells you that. So Revelation 18 chapter go along with Isaiah the 47th chapter. That's why it says verse Isaiah 47 and 12.